What's up, everybody? This is BakaBites. I'm Frankfurter. That is Magically Average, and today we are going to be talking some bold predictions for 2024. But before we get into it, we do want to say our condolences with everybody affected by the atrocities going on in Japan right now. It's just, if you haven't heard of anything, they had a very major earthquake on New Year's Day, and then they had a plane crash on a runway like that evening. So not great stuff happening, and we do hope everybody well wishes and safety in Japan. But yeah, we're gonna move on from that, kind of sorrow, little sad note. But
They just want to give our thoughts at least.
needs to be said.
It's
Needs to be
current it's current events, and we have a podcast that's based around properties that come out of Japan. So
Correct.
it's only fitting that we at least provide our sympathies and thoughts to those affected by the earthquake and the aftermath of it all as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's apologies for the bit of a somber start to the episode, but it is 2024. We're looking forward to the future, and with that, many a bold predictions.
Yes, we each have 3 bold predictions. I am going to start, and we're going to go zipper order or snake order. We're just going to go back and forth.
Yeah.
My first prediction, and I think that I'm like 80% confident in this one, if not 75% confident in this one.
Oh.
The best show of the year this year is going to be Don to Don.
Okay.
I think as much as I want it to be Delicious in Dungeon, which comes out this week
Right.
on Netflix,
Right.
I think Don to Don or Dan to Dan, whichever way you want to pronounce it, which it comes
Dun,
out in
dun,
fall.
dun.
As of right now, it's coming out in fall. It's done by Science Seru. I think that this is going to be the show of the year. I think this is the show that takes off this year. I know that's really kind of like, I say 75-80% lock because I've read a good bit of it.
Yeah.
I'm not current or anything, but I've read like the first solid like 6 or so like volumes, not chapters, volumes. And it's fucking amazing. It's a great series. I know that this is a bit bold because of everything coming out in spring, which if you don't know, there are
It's a
like
lot.
there's 7 major shows.
Yeah.
Major, not like minor, major shows coming out in spring, and then you have like all the like deep cut like smaller shows that you may not have heard of.
Well, all your
So
new anime, like new
right,
series.
right. Yeah, like you have a bunch of returning shows coming out in spring and then like your new series.
Yeah.
But just to kind of go over that list, Reincarnated as a Slime season 3, Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation season 2 part 2, Demon Slayer's next arc, Konosuba season 3, My Hero Academia season 7, new show alert, Kaiju number 8, and then you also have Spice and Wolf. Oh, sorry, it's 8 because you also have Black Butler.
Yeah.
Like you have 8 major shows coming out in spring. Like as much as stacked as winter is going to be and as fun as winter is going to be, spring is just like overloaded. Like if you have not announced your show for spring, just hold it to summer. Just hold it to summer because we're going to be feasting in spring, but that's still not going to overcome the trials and tribulations that is the show Don to Don or Dan to Dan, which comes out in fall. I'm thrilled that it's coming out. I'm excited that it's coming out. I think that it's going to be the best show this year. As much as, again, I am very excited for Delicious in Dungeon. That's like my show that I'm most looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that this will be the better show. I think this will be the more popular show. So that is my first prediction. I don't know how you feel about that one.
I'll just follow it up with my own if you want, because that'll probably give you
sure.
an answer.
Okay.
My bold prediction is that the anime of the year for 2024 will be a slice of life. And I say this because of what we've seen in 2023. So we had in 2023, and you can categorize it in many different ways, but I feel like most people, if I had to take a poll, would associate it with being a pseudo slice of life anime. But you had Frieren take everyone and completely off guard. I think for people that didn't know the series, at least coming out, everyone's been floored by it. I think it's currently sitting as the highest rated anime on Mall right now, and it might even be one of the highest rated on Live Chart as well. It's got like a 9.13 or something crazy. Like it's breaking a
So
lot of the
Mal is
charts.
a 9.14, and it is ranked #1 still.
Yeah.
I will check live chart while you're
Yeah, but with Frieren, and again, you can categorize it as many different things. It's fantasy, it is adventure. It's not like exactly action, but there is action in it, I guess. But when you kind of dive into the like what makes it a great anime and kind of pick apart all of its different pieces, at its core, it is almost kind of like a slice of life. A lot of it is just them traveling together and going through different towns, different cities, reminiscing, Frieren reminiscing about her older party, right? Like going back through her lifetime. There's not a lot of like your storybook style adventure exploration ish. Again, I attributed this and I talked about it before. Frieren is very much akin to the Hobbit book in that it is heavy on the exploration and just adventure, and not so much the battle action piece that it also entails.
right.
And so I think with that, it's obvious huge stardom given the positive feedback from the anime community and what we saw previously too with series like Bocchi the Rock. I think Komi Can't Communicate had a big spike too with people, finally finding maybe a slice of life that spoke to them or at least was entertaining to them. You had all of your other ones leading up to it too, but I don't think they were like Uzaki-chan was obviously like very much a hit or miss thing. You had other ones like Teasing Master Takagi-san. Like again, those are very like specific, and people always found them kind of like gross slice of lives because it's like, ew, it's just boy and girl, and it's just weird sexual innuendos and gross stuff.
Good
But
old
like
Nagatoro.
yeah, but you finally have like a slice of life ish anime that transcended a lot of people, like what people thought of a slice of life being. Because again, I think if you look on Live Chart, it is categorized as a slice of life. And I think, and I would,
It is ranked 21, by the way, on Slice of Life. Or sorry, 21 on live
Chart. Okay.
But the tags for it are adventure, drama, fantasy, magic, and shonen.
Yeah, I would still say slice of life. I think people get this false opinion of what a slice of life is, and that it has to literally just be like everyday life of a boy or girl going to school and doing school girl or school boy things, and then friendships happen and yay, happiness. But the true definition of a slice of life is just an anime that follows along someone's lifetime, and it's your basic like the everyday adventures or everyday living of just someone going through life. It doesn't have to be like a casual or a standard. It can be more fantasy related. But
I would agree, but for this one, you kind of shot yourself in the foot in saying that it is akin to like The Hobbit, in which it is like an adventure. It is about the journey, and that is like The Hobbit is very much an adventure like story, and that's what Frieren is. But like, I wouldn't necessarily like. I understand what you're saying about like, oh, it follows the person's life and it's a slice of life, like it's a slice of their life.
yeah,
I don't think it's traditionally tagged like that. I
no,
can see your argument for it. I just personally would categorize it under the adventure one in the broadest sense of they are going on an adventure.
right, yeah. And again, I don't think I'm not gonna stand on this hill and die saying that Frieren's a slice of life. But what I'm getting at with it is that I think a lot of people watched Frieren, were surprised at how good it was with just how little like action there was in that. Again, it was just the story of an elf who ventured with the hero's party to defeat the Demon King. But now you're getting the aftermath of that, where it's just her creating a new party to go and do more exploration. I don't want to get into like the actual
That's fine.
plot of it, but I think that is sort of a catalyst, I think, for 2024 in that I feel like a lot of people are going to find new series in this vein. Maybe they're not explicitly slice of life. Again, this is why it's a bold prediction, but I do feel like a slice of life could potentially take the reins.
My two questions for you. One,
Yes.
you say anime of the year. Are you talking our anime of the year, where it is we are categorizing it as 2024, or are you doing Crunchyroll's bullshit, where it is
Well,
fall
if it's
2023 to summer 2024?
yeah, if it's Crunchyroll's, I mean, it's going to be Frieren, I feel like, unless people
Okay,
forget
and that
about it
and that was
entirely.
and that was going to be my follow up: is what show would you boldly predict would win this?
I don't see how it couldn't be Frieren. I think given the accolades, assuming that because we're in the second part of it right now, because I think
Yeah,
it's
it starts
24
this Friday.
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, it starts this Friday.
Assuming that it continues on the same path it's going, I don't see how it can't. Again, if I'm looking at the Crunchyroll awards and how they've gone in the past, the sheer amount of positive feedback and like hype that this show received, like basically day one,
Yeah,
was unlike many other series. We saw it with Oshinoko. I feel like, unfortunately, with Oshinoko, it kind of dipped after it. Frieren kind of hit a high and just kept climbing and climbing.
yeah. I think the problem with Oshinoko was that people were expecting this kind of murder mystery and really digging deep into the murder, and you get more of a slice of life deep dive into the entertainment business,
And,
and people did not really want that.
no offense, it was also on High Dive. So,
That's also true.
also that too.
Yeah.
I think Dan to
would-
Dan is a relatively good pick. I am waiting to see the full list for 2024. I just
yeah,
have
'cause we
I
don't
have
have
a
lot of
weird
summer or fall.
I have a weird feeling in me that a slice of life could take the cake. I mean, we had the hope for Bochi, right? We had the hope that
Yeah.
Bochi might.
I mean, we still have that hope for the Crunchyroll Awards, but that hope's gonna
Yeah.
be dashed.
No,
Like
I mean, there's no
I think
way. It'll be
I hope it gets
nominated.
nominated. I hope.
Yeah.
It did come out in winter 2022, so like
It
people could
is.
have forgotten about it.
Yeah. I don't
But
know. I don't see how Chainsaw Man doesn't. But yeah, that's my prediction.
fair enough. My second prediction for 2024 is the boldest one that I have. I don't. Okay. Anyway, I
Oh.
want to preface this that I hope it doesn't happen.
Oh, okay.
I
Not a
hope
drum
it
roll.
doesn't happen, but I feel like we are heading in that direction.
Oh
And that
no.
is the One Piece manga will go on hiatus for a month and the ending will be pushed back to 2026. So,
Oh my gosh, 2026.
Oda has gone on record multiple times in the past like 5+ years and said this has had X amount of time left. And every time he said it, it is 2025. The past, I will say, like, since July, he had eye surgery over the summer. He took a month off for recovery. Great. Since then, chapters have kind of been coming out almost every other week. Sometimes you'll have, back to back concurrent weeks,
Mm-hmm.
but it's mostly been every other week. And even one of those weeks, he was not finished with the panels. They were very, very rough. They were just unfinished cuts, which, to be fair, they still looked great. For the subject matter that was being depicted, it was a great chapter, but it wasn't finished. And he knew that, and he put a note in the chapter saying, this is not done.
Mm-hmm.
I think that due to the complications with his eye surgery, I don't think it's really healed properly. I think due to these delays that they're having in between chapters, coming out every other week, I think he's going to ask for a month just to either rest for 2 weeks and then get ahead the next 2 weeks, or just fully rest and then just burst out, with the chapters weekly. I don't think he fully he needed more than a month, and I don't think he got it. So I think that this does affect the series in the future, in which we do get a hiatus of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that pushes the timeline back of the ending to 2026.
I mean, you gave a lot of fairly decent explanation
arguments, yes,
as to
but
why. I don't see how it's that bold.
because it's One Piece and it's Shonen Jump and
Yeah,
it's meet my demands or else.
yeah.
But I mean, it
I
is
feel like,
Oda. It is Oda,
yeah, I
though.
was gonna
It's
say,
just one of those things that it's just like, I don't want this to happen, but I feel like it needs to happen.
yeah.
He needs to just take a break, recover properly, and then come back, full force and finish the series.
But don't you know,
Because
Frank? One Piece fans are starving for more content.
Jesus
They just
Christ, yeah,
need their content.
you have the anime which comes out weekly, you have the manga which is like bi-weekly at this point, and you had
Ugh.
the live action which is probably starting production later this year, and then you have the remake from Studio Wit.
Which
Like
that is interesting to me. And
they're feasting on content.
yeah, that's interesting to me too. I because I didn't put this in my bold predictions, but I'll ask it to you. Do you think that the One Piece remake could win some sort of Crunchyroll award when it releases?
I think yes. I don't think that I don't think we see it at all this year. It
No, no,
doesn't.
no, no.
I don't think it releases at
It's
all.
no, it's a
My
2025.
main concern with the remake, and I don't know if it's been confirmed because I haven't really done research on it. I don't know who they're gonna get for the voice cast. If they're just gonna plainly just reuse all the voice actors and actresses for it,
I don't think you can.
or if they just because like some of those voice actors and actresses are kind of getting really old.
Well,
Not in the sense of like listening to them, but like physically, like age wise, they are getting old.
yeah, the voice
So
actor for Luffy, the Japanese voice actor for Luffy, has said that she's retiring when the series is done. Like when they're done
yeah,
producing episodes, she's retiring.
right. So
So
the
I
question is,
doubt. Yeah, I doubt
is
she's
it
gonna sign on to be like, you want me to do what? You want me to
do all
revoice
of it?
Luffy from the very beginning? Excuse me? Hell
Yeah,
no. Yeah,
yeah.
that's an interesting question though, because yeah, I mean, the other thing too is it's presumably going to get an English dub and it's going to get
And
other
who do you get
language
for that?
dub. Yeah, right, you have to. Are you going to
You
recast?
do you get the live action cast for that English dub?
I don't think so. I've heard some of the voices for the English live action, and I'm like,
Some are good,
they're
some are not.
they're good for the live action. I think
Yeah,
translated to animation and dubbing over, probably not as strong. Um, there are many, and for people being like, oh, it's prejudiced or bigoted or whatever. I don't care. The actors.
whatever. You
Well, I mean, some people would make that argument, but there have been plenty of actors even that have come out to say that voice acting is an entirely different beast in that you're having
yeah,
to do acting but through the lens of a character that's capable of doing things potentially that most humans are incapable of, like
also
more
you don't
fantastical
get
things, and it's
your
harder.
right, you don't get your cadence, you don't get your timing. You
Right,
have to
you're
match
not.
what is on the screen.
Yeah, a
So
lot
that's
of.
another thing, like an attribute that you have to take into account for voice
Yeah.
acting as well.
A lot of actors are typecast because of their appearance or their personality or their even just their voice itself. But for voice acting, it's much more about the character that they're voicing rather than their voice. And so it's a combination of being able to act and being able to actually voice
Yeah,
act as well. Like
yeah.
it's two different beasts. But
But that is my
yeah.
second prediction is that I think that it goes on hiatus for at least another month. As to when, I don't know. But yeah, I don't want it to, but it really needs to happen. It really
Yeah.
does.
2026 though is, I mean, we're 2 years away from that. 2024 just started.
Oh, I know, but like where he's at right now
Yeah, no,
in the
yeah.
like in the arc, I'm just like, there's no way that you're gonna finish this within. Well, I guess since the season or the year just started, if you do weekly, which you minus let's say 5 holidays per year,
Hmm.
you've got what's my math? It's 100. Wait, 52
We're not gonna
weeks
do
in a
math
year.
right
That's
now.
104. So that's 94 chapters. I don't know if he can wrap everything up in 94 chapters, honestly.
Yeah.
So that is my prediction for my number two prediction. Sir, what do you got?
I will. Oh, I'm looking at my list and I'm in between two right now.
Save the boldest for last. of the
Okay.
two.
All right, fine. I feel like this is not as bold as my other one. Partially because we've already somewhat seen it, but I'm going to predict that Shonen Jump will yet again be overthrown by a other series not produced by Shonen for manga.
So like a Kodansha or Seven
Kodansha,
Seas.
probably not Seven Seas if we're being honest, but Kodansha, yeah. I mean, you could Dark Horse Comics that do all of the Berserk. You never know.
Yep.
There's a lot of players out there. We had a conversation about this before in that we it's hard to see the future for Shonen Jump right now because we're kind of getting the end of a lot of the series that have been the staple of shonen series like One Piece, that is eventually going to end. We have My Hero that's ending. Demon Slayer has already ended as the manga. It's been complete. It's just now the anime is going to be wrapping up relatively-ish soon. I think we only have two full arcs left, I think. Could be wrong.
I think they're in the last arc, I believe.
Until
I just don't know. No, they're in the last arc. I just don't know
Spring's
how.
not the last season.
No, it's not. But like the manga is ahead of where the anime is, obviously.
Well, the manga's done. The manga's been done.
No, for My Hero?
No. Demon Slayer.
Oh, Demon Slayer. Yeah, Demon Slayer's done. There's
Yeah,
two
yeah,
arcs left.
Yeah,
this
two
one
arcs
and
left.
the last
That's
one.
Come on. Keep
Sorry,
up.
I thought we were on My Hero.
No,
Sorry,
we're not talking about My Hero. But My Hero is also wrapping up. We already said that.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man wrapping up relatively soon-ish. We don't know. Potentially. I mean, this arc
you
is...
have a movie for the next arc, and then I feel like you have one full season for the remainder of it.
I could see 2 seasons.
Maybe...
Oh, no. One more season for what we have right... the
part
first...
one, for
part one. I'm
not
talking explicitly manga, good sir. I need you to keep up with me, my buddy.
I don't think part 2 is usually done.
It's hard to see when it's going to get done. It's hard to see any direction. My point is that outside of Karagabuchi, which I think is the newest big series that has gotten everyone's attention from Shonen Jump, we don't have a lot from them coming out currently that I can see carrying them in through and beyond 2024. Again, this is right now. This is bold predictions. We're talking bold predictions right now for 2024. Who knows what's being created in anywhere right now that is yet to be published by Shonen, okay? We don't know. There's still 362 days or however many days now since this recording is happening left in the year, okay? Plenty of time. That's why it's a bold prediction. But I think with the recent upheaval of Shonen Jump by Kodansha and the possibility of other publishers coming out with new series that could, again, take it by storm, I think 2024 is kind of a perfect year for that to happen.
Okay.
With certain series ending, with certain series kind of hitting like we're past the initial hype phase or immediate like train, like everyone jump on the Chainsaw Man train or the My Hero train, whatever, right? Like we're kind of past those. Without anything in Shonen Jump's horizon, it's again a prime opportunity for another series or an existing one that's just kind of maybe starting. Who knows? To take the reins and get the number one manga for 2024 and steal it away from Shonen Jump. I think it's a strong possibility. Again, still bold given Shonen Jump's history and that they hadn't been beaten by any other publisher for like 25 years or something crazy. Like they'd held the title for best-selling manga for like 25 years straight until this last year with I think Blue Lock won it for Kodansha. So that's who knows? Will Kodansha keep it? Will Shonen Jump take it back? Will a new one come in? Who knows? I don't think Shonen Jump will win again. I think it'll be someone else again. They'll go 2 years in a row without taking the top spot.
Fair enough. My next and last prediction for the year is something that we've kind of talked about, kind of alluded to in other episodes, probably 4 episodes past now. and that is, I think Disney/Hulu will partner with High Dive in the remaining High Dive territories.
Yeah.
So, and if they don't, and I have a sidebar, if they don't partner, I think that Disney and Hulu will get will get exclusive streaming rights to 4 shows this year, just like they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, winter was Bleach. Spring, actually, I don't know if they had anything in spring. Summer, they had Bleach again and Heavenly Delusion, which was amazing. And
But
also,
Heavenly
if you have-
Delusion wasn't exclusive to them, I don't
yes, it was.
think.
Yes,
I thought it was on Crunchyroll as well.
Nope. Otherwise, you probably would have watched it. I would have watched it
I mean,
sooner,
I
but
saw
no.
Heavenly Delusion on Crunchyroll.
That's news to me, but no.
Oh,
You might be thinking of Heaven's Lost Property or something like that.
No, it's Tengaku, whatever I can't remember the other word.
But
Heaven.
Yeah. And then Undead Unluck was their 4th one.
Yeah.
If
we should specify too that everything that we've named is on Hulu, at least for North America, not Disney+.
For North America,
which is frustrating.
On Hulu. But yeah, I mean, if you want to go series technicalities, they had summertime rendering as well. But that's a different story.
After it was finally freed from its prison, where it was falsely accused of doing whatever, being an anime.
Yep, something like that. I think, if High Dive does not partner with Hulu, Disney get 4 shows this year again, or 4 series this year again.
Mm-hmm.
As to what they are, no fucking clue. But I could see them, as mentioned earlier in the show, the other Shonen Jump property that's getting its start, the Yozakura Mission. I could see Hulu taking on that one, being like, "Oh, it's Shonen Jump, it's gotta be gold," and then just fucking nobody watching it again. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Please watch Undead Unluck.
It is a shame that a lot of the anime that comes out on Disney Plus, Hulu. Again, we're speaking strictly for North America because it is different in most of the Asian countries. I think like Disney Plus has a pretty large library at this point. For North America, not so much. A lot of the new series are kind of going there and dying. But if you're a returning series, looking at you, Bleach, you still do really, really well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think the whole High Dive partnership happens because we are seeing more and more shows that were exclusive to High Dive coming over to Hulu. Case in point, Eminence and Shadow. At least season 1 so far. Yeah. I don't know if they've added season 2 or not, but I could also see Oshinoko coming over later in the year. I can see Dangers in My Heart season 1 coming over later in the year.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few shows that they have that I feel like would do really well on Hulu, Disney, whatever. Yeah. So it's one of those things that I think it happens, but if it doesn't, that's what happens to Hulu.
I think, and I'm very much against monopolizing the market. So don't take this the wrong way. Those watching, listening, and you as well, my good co-host. But I do feel like right now with the state of streaming services that there is a bucket of anime that goes to die when it leaves Crunchyroll, High Dive, Netflix, and kind of lands itself at Disney Plus, Hulu. So would I mind seeing it reduced to 3, with it being like, Crunchyroll, the main one, Netflix, and then your combination Hulu, Disney, High Dive? No. I would even go so far as to say I wouldn't mind if we went back to like the 2 big ones, because before you watched most of your new anime on Crunchyroll and Funimation. That was where most of your new anime came out until Netflix decided, well, we'll get into the game, picked up a series here or there, and now they're getting like a handful of series throughout the year. Maybe 2 each season-ish, maybe a random throw-in like we had with Pluto,
God, that was such a... Nobody talked about
Blue-Eyed Samurai. Yeah, no, I know.
Nobody talk about Pluto.
We're going to go past that. But I do feel like there is an issue with the amount of streaming services where anime can go. I feel like if it's focused or honed in on 3, again, preferably 2, I don't see that being a bad thing.
Right.
At least for streaming services, because you want these anime to succeed. You want people to go and have watch your anime, have access to it, and not have to spend 20, 30, $40 a month, however much, to just watch an anime that they like, because they're on 4 different streaming services. You're like, well, I guess I'll just splurge this month and then cancel, once I'm done. And then you're like, oh crap, another one just came out. I got to re-up my subscription. So, I feel like this is a type of scenario where less is better. Having less options for streaming services is probably better for anime in general.
If you had 2 streaming services other than Crunchyroll, what would be your number 2? Would it be High Dive or would it be Netflix?
I mean,
Because I have a spicy take on this one.
I think it's Netflix.
Yeah, me too.
I think, I think it's Netflix for the sole reason that Netflix has a broader audience, and I feel like a lot of people might just stumble on anime too. Where because High Dive is exclusively anime. High Dive is you only get anime, right? Netflix is you get everything. You get movies, you get reality TV shows, you get all of your other productions, studio, random sitcom shows or whatever. You get your animated shows. Like it's the library of Netflix is diverse, and so you have a larger audience in which you could potentially tap into. That have subscriptions. I'm sure the subscriptions between Netflix and High Dive is astronomically different.
Oh, 100%.
So you have that added benefit as well. Whereas, yes, you are losing your targeted audience with anime. You have a greater potential to increase your audience almost passively just by having it on Netflix because someone could stumble on it. I'm sure a lot of people had that happen with Pluto and Blue-Eyed Samurai and Scott Pilgrim. And there's a whole slew of anime that have come out that have been relatively-ish advertised, and I say that just by having it be on a title screen when you open up
a page or something.
Yeah. That many people might not have watched if not for it being on Netflix. So I personally feel that it's Crunchyroll. It will always be the king unless something catastrophic happens, I guess. For
Sony just plunges into oblivion.
Basically, for streaming anime, but I do strongly believe that Netflix is the second. Again, assuming that High Dive, because High Dive has decreased its services in many other countries. We've talked about this before. If you don't know, look it up.
About that episode.
Yeah. But yeah, assuming that High Dive does a merger, or assuming that High Dive transfers its library, I do believe that Netflix will be the second in that line of streaming services for anime.
So for me, the one thing that I like about Netflix and the one thing that worries me about Netflix, the is that as of the last year, I feel like they have the budget for these studios to say, hey, go make the project you want to make.
Yeah.
But also they give the past year, at least they've given them the time. They don't do weekly releases. They did that with Komi, and we saw how bad the animation could really get with Komi.
Yeah.
It was real bad. It started great, and then it just was a steady decline, and then the very last episode was like, hi.
My Discord icon was the fish-eyed girl for
a long
time. Yeah.
But as of the past year, I feel like they learned that, hey, weekly isn't really sustainable for anime. Let's give we'll give them the budget. We'll give them whatever time they need, and when it's done, we'll just say, or give them a season, and it's just out. Yeah. Anytime during that season, it's just all of it out, gone, done by.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the positives for me in that instance, because A, we're getting all of the show all at once, which I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But also B, we don't have a MAPPA situation that we know of where everybody's having a fucking mental breakdown.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like Netflix gives them the time and money to make the show that they want to make. So that's one of the things I like about Netflix. The thing I don't like about Netflix is how quickly or how fast that they are ready to pull the plug on a project.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is it could be a show that has done very well, and then one season it's just like and then it's canned, it's gone, it's in the trash. That is my one fear of anime on Netflix. A huge fear and a very valid fear
Hmm.
about anime on Netflix is that if you do not have that viewership, if you do not have glowing reviews, it's gone.
Well, and we could talk about this for many hours. And we might even do that in the future episode. Who knows? But the one thing I will say is it is what you've just talked about. It is frustrating as a viewer because sometimes it is a blind side to you because you just don't know how many viewers it truly had or what the feedback was by targeted audiences or critics or what have you. And sometimes it gets pulled without your knowledge either. A series that it comes to mind for me, I believe it was canned after its second season, which was extremely frustrating, was Marco Polo. I
Hmm.
believe that's what it was called. It followed the story of Marco Polo during Kublai Khan in Mongolia, and it was absolutely fantastic. The actor who played Kublai Khan was also in. He played one of the monks in the Avenger series with Doctor Who. No, not Doctor Who. What the hell am I saying? Doctor Strange. Excuse me. Getting all my different uh, different fans.
Get it together.
Yeah, fan groups mixed up. Excuse me. Like amazing actor. Like the crew was incredible. The crew was incredible. The production was insane. The cast was astounding. Absolutely adored that show, and I think it just got canned after its second season,
Yep,
and
two
that was it.
seasons. It reviewed very well. They both seasons
And that's what I
or the
mean.
show in general has an 8.0.
And it might have been that was it. It didn't feel like it to me when I watched it. Like it felt like there should have been more, but it could have been it. Who knows? I do believe that it got canceled though. And yeah, I mean that is a genuine fear because you could form a strong attachment to a new product from Netflix, like a new series. And
I'm honestly scared that Comey did get cut. I'm really honestly
well,
scared that it got the
so
plug pulled on it.
the one thing I will say, at least for anime, is that at
Somebody else can pick
least
it up.
yes, yeah, basically someone else will come in and pick it up. I don't foresee a situation because at least for that, it was Comey was still being produced by OLM. I want to say it wasn't like a Netflix
Yeah.
studio, so Netflix can always just give the rights to another streaming service to stream. Like they could just sell them the rights
Well,
instead,
here's the thing. I don't think they do that
or the
just for the fact.
exclusivity, or whatever.
Well, right, but also for the fact that you have like teasing Master Takage-san or whatever the fuck the show is called.
Yeah,
There's 3 seasons of that show, and every single season is on a different platform.
right. Well, I mean, that's different in the sense that it's probably again just could be studio related. I don't know if it's the same studio that's produced it. It could be ownership of rights, like who actually owns the license to that. Like, there's a lot of factors that always go into. We always get into this, and we always are like trying to pretend like we know exactly everything, but we don't. We don't. There are a lot of factors that go into this. But I will say the one bright side to Netflix is that I do believe that if there ever is an anime that does get cut from Netflix, you'll Crunchyroll will swoop in, Disney Hulu will swoop
Hopefully.
in. Yeah, someone will swoop in. I don't think especially for a series like Comey that has a massive fan following through its manga.
And also just a fuck ton of manga.
Yeah, an actual truckload of manga that is out
Just
right
like
now.
20, I think
27 in the US, I
27 in
believe.
the States, and I think there's 30 something in.
31, I believe, right now in Japan. And those are physical volumes. We're not including like the chapters that are just out digitally.
You were right. It is 31.
Yep. Haha. I knew
You
that
got
from
me.
a recent Twitter post where I saw the cover of the 31st volume, and I was like, I assume that's the most recent one.
32 comes out in January.
All right.
Or later this month.
Okay. So I'm right for now, but
Yes.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
is my last prediction. Good sir, what is your last prediction?
Mine's somewhat related because it's closely tied to Netflix. This is
Ooh.
by far the boldest prediction I have.
Do tell.
I don't even fully believe it myself, but
You
I
just
could
want to say it.
I could see it happening. I could see it happening for what we have on the horizon.
Okay.
A live action anime will be in someone's top 10.
Top 10 meaning what?
Top 10 for the year. One of us will have a live action in their top 10 for the year.
But that's not anime.
It's not anime, and you can argue it even more when I mention one in particular. But
Okay.
I feel with how good the production is in Japan for live actions, at some point it's going to translate over, and I feel like we're finally reaching it with One Piece. And everyone get your pitchforks and your torches ready with the Avatar The Last Airbender live action. Yes, it is not an anime. I get it. It is a Western animated show. I understand.
It
Okay.
is heavily inspired by anime.
Thank you. I'm glad I didn't have to say it.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid growing up watching it, this was like the closest thing to anime that we had in like that was Western produced, right?
Right. It was either that or Shaolin Showdown or Jackie Chan Adventures.
Or Jackie Chan Adventures. I thought you were gonna say like Samurai Jack.
I forgot about that one, honestly. Yeah.
There's a couple, but
There's a few, but yeah, I agree that this is the closest thing to anime without being anime.
yes, the fact that it's getting a live action, we're getting a One Piece live action. I just saw on Anime News Network some more cast for the Golden Kamui live action, which I reading the mangaka's newest series on ice hockey. I am starting to realize why Golden Kamui gets such good ratings, because the humor is definitely there. And I shouldn't say his, excuse me, their art style is just funny in itself too, I will say. Like you get a lot of laughs just by facial features and a lot of the just reactions from characters, we'll say. But the live action scene in Japan has always been strong, and it's always kind of confused us because we've always reacted like that's getting like, and it's not even just like what we've categorized to be live action, like a retelling of a season or whatever from a show. Sometimes it's musicals, like sometimes it's a play, sometimes it's adapted in different ways, but using real people to do so. And that's always been sort of a foreign concept to Western viewers, because what we've seen translated into a live action has been absolute garbage. No offense to anyone who likes any of the Attack on Titans, you're just wrong. They're all bad.
I will say, I saw the first two movies in theaters, and God, they were awfully great.
They're awful. Yeah, that's fine. They can be entertaining if you love eating the green crayon and chalk for dinner. But
boy, do I.
they are undoubtedly terrible.
Yes.
And we even haven't had like, everyone's very divisive when it comes to the Cowboy Bebop live action too.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And I mean, Death Note's been an awful one too. I mean, we've gotten like 37 different Death Note live actions at this point.
And also Full Metal Alchemist and DBZ
Full Metal Alchemist,
and all those are really just awful. But
they're bad, bad.
I do see that live action anime or anime based, golly, live action shows based off of anime, they have been getting better. I actually have not watched the Yu Yu Hakusho one, and I really haven't heard much about it. I feel like people are too scared to watch it or whatever, but
yeah, probably.
I haven't watched it. I don't know anything about it. I do want to watch it. I will probably watch it sometime in the near future. But they have been getting better. They haven't been getting worse. That's for sure.
And that's
I
why
just don't see it getting into one of our top 10s. Maybe
that's the bold prediction,
Avatar,
baby. That's why they're bold.
But I just don't know. Buddy.
I know. It's, again, right now it's hard to visualize that because we have like little tastes of what Avatar is going to look and feel like. We have our much more taste to the One Piece, at least, because we have a trailer, and we're getting a little bit more info on like the production at least of the One Piece live action, but still
Yeah.
you're not going to know until you finally watch it. I feel like with the direction that live action is going and the fact that they're not giving up, right? You would have thought after Death
They're
Note failed,
doubling down.
after Death Note live action failed for the 122nd time of its being remade, that they would finally go, you know what? Maybe live action's just not going to cut it to the Western audiences. Maybe it's just Japan fandom that loves having their characters retold in a live action setting, whether it's on TV or in theater. Just it's not working here. Rather, they have said, you know what? We're just going to keep chipping away. We're going to keep chipping away, and finally we're going to strike gold. And I feel like we're approaching the gold mine. I think with Avatar, again, especially since there is a large fandom here in North America for Avatar: The Last Airbender. Apologies if people kept thinking I meant Avatar: The Blue People. If you did, you're in the wrong podcast. That's a couple podcasts over, I think.
You mean Avatar Cowboys versus Indians?
Or Avatar Dances with Wolves.
Jeez.
It's same shit,
I-
different title. Yeah, Avatar: Last Airbender, and then One Piece. I feel like they're close.
I think that, and here's my bold prediction off of your bold prediction.
Gasp.
If it is still happening, I do think that the Death Note live action by the Duffer Brothers, I think that will be fantastic.
Fantastic?
I think that is the one that will nail, like, that is the head hitting, God, nail, head, nail, hitting, nail.
Got the nail in the nail.
You got the nail hit, head, nail.
Yep.
Nailed it. No, I think that if they can,
If
if that series is still going on, if the Duffer Brothers, however you pronounce it,
Duffer Brother.
if they are still working on it after Stranger Things season 4 part 2, I think that's the one that really just nails it home.
No way. There's no way.
I think it does.
Now, is it only because of the producer?
Yes.
Is it the directors?
100%.
Okay,
Because
I'm going to give you.
They love, like, I know that Oda was working on One Piece. The One Piece live action was fantastic. Generally speaking, all of these live action shows have some say or some direction from the creator of the original source material.
Right.
I think that the Duffer Brothers do bring in, whoever wrote Death Note. I don't remember who. And I think that with their love of the series and the direction from the actual creator, I do think that they can make something very special. I don't think it'll be exactly a 1-for-1, but I think it will be closer to a 1-for-1 than anything that has been produced. I think that, people wanted a 1-for-1 for One Piece, but it's not going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
And it worked out well. But I do think that with a shorter series like Death Note and how, tight those episodes are and the story structure, I think that you could get a 1-for-1 with that series. And I think with them behind the reins of producing it, with their love of that series, they would not want to fuck it up. And I think that they would do a good job with it.
I am not doubting their capability whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only going to draw a comparison just to play devil's advocate. Okay?
Sure.
Did you like the movie Knives Out?
Yes.
Did you like the movie Star Wars Episode 8?
That one was the second of the new ones, right?
Correct.
It's salt.
Okay. Same director. That's all I'm going to say. It's the same director. I know it's different. I know it's different. It's different properties. I know that there is a story in Star Wars. I understand that there is limited direction that the director could have taken. I get it.
Because I think however, that was more writing than directing.
Right. I know. Still, the directing has a good piece to it. Hence why I think it was James Cameron did the ninth one, I want to say. I can't remember. The
Never heard
whole
of it.
those 7 through 9, I'm not a big fan of.
Well,
Anyway,
the ninth one apparently is the worst, and I didn't watch it. So
I believe 8th is the worst, but that's just me. Um, that's the only comparison I wanted to bring up was that in that while I do believe that the Duffer Brothers would have full capability, full reins to take Death Note and do a fantastic one-to-one of the track record of the live action so far for Death Note leave little hope in that it will succeed.
I would argue that it leaves good hope because the bar is so fucking
Yes,
low.
you could take that perspective and say that you can't get any worse question mark because
Like,
it is basically at the lowest possible point. It's just
yeah,
it is hard for me to visualize a live action of Death Note
that is
is
actually
right.
yeah.
It's
I get it.
that's all. Again, no discredit to the Duffer Brothers, no discredit to what they've done on Stranger Things and what they are what they're capable of doing for Death Note. Assuming that they're still producing it, it has been what, a year and a half, 2 years since we originally announced that they were doing it. I remember creating the thumbnail for that. I used the Grand Theft Auto, I think San Andreas, here we go again. So I remember creating that thumbnail for our previous episode on it. But yeah,
I
I
think
want to
with all
give
the strikes that happened, I think that it just got pushed back. That's
it wouldn't surprise me, but yeah,
yeah.
I'll have to see it to believe it. I'll leave it
Yeah.
at that. I'll have to see it to believe it.
And thank you for seeing this podcast. We greatly appreciate it. If you like this, go check out our backlog of shitty other episodes we've put out in the
Hey,
past
they're not shitty.
year plus. I know they're great, and we're just shitty. That's all.
They're good.
I know. But unlike the Death Note live actions, go check out.
Yeah, don't check out the live actions for Death Note. Do, however, go and re-listen or rewatch our old podcast episodes. Those are
Yes.
infinitely more entertaining. If you want to learn more about the Death Note 2 being done by the Duffer Brothers, again, like I said, our episode, I think 2 years ago, we talked about it.
We'd have to go way back in the time portal.
It's been a long time.
Yes, it has. But no, thank you again for joining us. We hope you had a good time. Let us know what your bold predictions of 2024 are. But until next time, Spark Triumph. We'll see you then.